Hello everyone, back tuning into the 12th Christmas update. So we started the Christmas updates on the first day of November, and we're almost at the halfway point now. We get to update 13, the next update on Tuesday. That will be halfway through with the Christmas update, so we really are cracking on. Now we are heading towards the Christmas countdown. So we're going to have a look again at the CFS V2 9-monthly forecast for the period of sort of mid to late December through to early January. We can't pinpoint down the exact weather on Christmas Day, of course, because it's far too far away to be able to do that. But what we are doing, looking for the trend of the CFS model sort of mid-December to late December to early January. The trend so far through this year's Christmas updates has been very zonal, westerly Christmas updates. So we have one proper cold one, that was update number 5, but other than that, it really has been the Atlantic all the way for this year's Christmas updates so far. That includes the last update, which did have quite a lot of Atlantic-driven weather through late December, but there was a colder spell contained within that through the middle part of December. And what we say about is possibly the colder spell that has been cropping up a little bit within these updates mid-December was beginning to get extended out just ever so slightly towards Christmas. So that looked a little bit more interesting from a colder perspective. But overall, it hasn't been a great deal doing for anybody who wants cold weather for Christmas so far in the Christmas updates. Although we're halfway through, we are still relatively early though within the update. So we'll see again what the CFS V2 model has to say for late December in a moment. But before I get on with that, just to say that earlier today we released the 12th and final winter update. You can find the video to that on the homepage. It's also going to be placed, if it hasn't been yet, it will be very shortly, onto the winter updates page with an extensive written report going over everything that's discussed in the video. And that's the end of winter updates. We've got winter forecasts to do in a week's time. It'll be issued a week today, but we are finished now with this year's winter 2017-18 update. So have a look at that if you haven't yet done so. The Christmas shop is open, so if you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, just click the green button that says Gaz Christmas Shop. It takes you through to our Christmas shop page, and from there, go through the Amazon banners, do your Christmas shopping at Amazon. Of course, you've gone from Gaz Levis to Amazon, we will get a revenue fee on the things that you buy from Amazon, and a big thank you to everybody for doing that again this Christmas. So, just to talk you through the models. I have to assume some people might be watching this for the very first time. So, it's the CFS V2 9-monthly forecast from the website metroseal.fr. You can find the link to Metroseal on the links page. This was generated midday yesterday, 25th of November. We always try and use the same run, which is, for no particular reason, the midday run. That's the one we stick with whenever possible, when we can't be told off for cherry picking any particular outcome. This is purely the way that the charts are coming out as we're doing the updates with the midday run of the CFS V2. And with all that said, let's get on. So we're going to start off on the 10th of December, which isn't all that far away now, just a couple of weeks away. We find that we've got low pressure in the Atlantic, deep area of low pressure as well at 975 millibars, bringing wet and windy weather in across the country. Running up towards the 10th, and another deep area of low pressure is sweeping in as well, that bringing gales and bouts of heavy rain too. This is looking like a very, very unsettled run up to the middle of December. We're going to the 14th to the 15th. And look at this, we've got another quite deep storm actually coming in across the country. That's bringing severe gales across southern parts of England. This low pressure is bringing a lot of wet weather as well. These are real Atlantic onslaught charts that tonight's CFS V2 midday run is showing for the middle part of December. Now, heading up towards the 17th, we find we are getting a bit of a build of pressure then coming up from the southwest. So we're breaking out of that stormy weather. It's turning drier, probably quite chilly. I would suspect there'd be night frost with that, although not particularly wintry, just some frost and some fog. Let's see if we can get towards the run up to Christmas, and this is what we see. So that little ridge, not much comes of that. By the 19th, that's already been pushed off into the east and southeast of Europe, taking the colder and probably quite foggy conditions down there. We're reverting very rapidly back into an Atlantic flow, so already by the 19th of December, we're starting to bring cloud, wind and rain back in. And now we're going to run up to Christmas, and you've guessed it, the low pressures are coming back. So we're on the 22nd of December, we're at the 22nd of December, and this is looking quite stormy again. A deep area of low pressure going through Scotland, bringing gales, even severe gales, parts of Northern Ireland and Northern England as well. That gets out of the way as we run up towards Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve looks like this. We have a little bit of a bump of high pressure, but again, look at all this low pressure that's out in the Atlantic. The purple colours are turning up. That's always a bad sign. Means you've got intense cyclogenesis going on around Greenland. And so Christmas Eve is bringing up a bit of a southwesterly flow. Probably quite a nice day, actually. Mainly dry, sunny spells, and probably very mild with temperatures into double digits. But by the time you get through to Christmas Day, it's all looking like it's going to start going rather unsettled again. So this is how Christmas Day is looking for tonight's 12th Christmas update, and we've got low pressure heading back in off the Atlantic once more, so probably cloud and outbreaks of rain pushing in. At least the ice bars aren't too tightly packed. It's fairly windy, but it's not sort of severe disruptive wind, just cloud and rain with pretty strong winds heading in off the Atlantic. And it would be mild as well because the air is pushing in from the Atlantic. This is Boxing Day, when again we're building in a little ridge here ahead of more low pressure in the Atlantic. So we've got Christmas Eve looking fairly decent, mostly dry and mild. Boxing Day looking fairly dry and mild, and then Christmas Day itself looking quite cloudy and wet. All 3 days over Christmas period would be mild or very mild, however. And then we go beyond Christmas, and well, it looks very unsettled again. So low pressure driving in from off the Atlantic. This is a very, very unsettled update, this 12th update. We're running up towards New Year now. We're just keeping these areas of low pressure continually throwing bands of rain and strong winds up across the country between Christmas and New Year. We've arrived at New Year's Eve now, and you've guessed it, another area of low pressure is heading in off the Atlantic. There'll be a lot of rain and a lot of strong winds through this period if this 12th update is correct. This is how the first day of 2018 looks, and it's looking very unsettled indeed. We've got a 965 millibar area of low pressure centered over the country, bringing cloud, rain, strong winds too, probably gale force winds in the south and the west there, and also generally quite mild across most parts of the country. I'll run you through the opening days of the new year. So it's staying very, very unsettled through the first week, but then we go through to the second week of January. We are starting to get a bit of a build of pressure from the south. That would be probably giving an early burst of spring-type conditions for a few days, but that doesn't last long. We're going up to mid-January, and it's getting very unsettled again. The onslaught from the Atlantic continues up to the middle of January. So, definitely put this one down as a zonal and westerly update. This is about as zonal as you can get. It's an Atlantic onslaught from start to finish. The Atlantic is just throwing these areas of low pressure and bands of rain across the country. Now, we started this on the 10th of December, and it was already into a very, very unsettled pattern. I say that's not all that far away. And we know that certainly in the next week to 10 days, we're going to have a lot of northern blocking, particularly focused around Green, and quite a lot of cold weather. So where has that gone by the time we get through to the 10th of December? It all looks rather dubious, I've got to say. I'm not convinced at all by this. I think the CFS is going over the top with its westerly and sort of zonal conditions that it's going for here. Of course, it might be correct. We do live next to the Atlantic Ocean, and it's not inconceivable we could have an Atlantic onslaught, but as early as the 10th of December it's going for all of this unsettled weather, and that just doesn't look right compared to what we're seeing at the moment within the model output. Certainly for the first week of December, it is looking relatively blocked and cold, so where that has gone by the 10th of December, I'm not sure. But we do have to chalk it up as another westerly and zonal Christmas update, and as I say, that's been the trend this year, but as I also say, just because we've got a trend doesn't mean that it's the right trend. The model has got the trend, definitely, but it may well turn out in the end that it's the wrong trend. Certainly for that earlier period in December. I mean, Christmas is still a long way away, so we might go to unsettled conditions by then, of course. But for that earlier December period and going up to the middle of December, I do think that looks a little bit dubious from where we are at the moment and where we're likely to be with the synoptics over the next week to 10 days. So we'll do the 13th update on Tuesday. That'll be the midway point, the halfway point for the Christmas updates. Will be on Tuesday evening, same time, same place. For the next instalment, don't forget to check out Winter Update, the last one for this year if you haven't yet done so. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching.